All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you today about some of the biggest mistakes that's going to cause your auto insurance to go up. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and this is the biggest one. Sometimes people will call and maybe they haven't driven a vehicle in a long time. Maybe it's been parked for a long time. Maybe it's been broken down, and maybe they've been riding somebody else's car or somebody else has been driving them around. But the biggest mistake you can make is to cancel your insurance policy. Even if you're not driving that vehicle or if it's been parked, and this is like if it's the only vehicle you have. If you say, I just want to cancel my policy altogether. So believe it or not, that will actually hurt you more than anything. Because when you go with a lapse on your insurance, then that causes you to be put in a higher risk bracket. So when you do go to get insurance again, guess what? It's going to be a lot higher than if you would have just kept that same policy. And you can do some things on your policy, like take it down to the very bare minimum if you're not driving. Or sometimes people sell a vehicle and it might take them a month or two before they get another vehicle. You can actually have just like a named operator policy without a vehicle on there. And it's better to do that than to go completely without insurance, because it's going to cost you more in the long run. Even if you saved a few months, it's going to cost you a whole lot more in the long run. So that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that you can make with your auto insurance. Mistake number 2, claims. I mean, let's face it. If you have any kind of claims, unfortunately, with most companies, that's going to cause your rate to go up. If you've got to hit a deer, if you've been in an accident, and here's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't understand. Even if you are in an accident and it's not your fault, you still get tagged with a not at fault accident. While that's not going to negatively affect your rate as much as an at fault accident, it's still going to impact your rate some whenever it does renew. So those are 2 big mistakes that you make with your auto insurance. Number 3, getting a quote every 6 months and moving your insurance. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I think people make, is they are constantly shopping their rates. And what you don't understand, and the reason I say that, because you hear all these ads from different attorneys that say you need to shop, or whoever, they say you need to shop at least once a year or every renewal, whatever. That is not in your best interest, to be honest with you, because most companies, when we go to put a quote in for you, one of the biggest discounts you have is your tenure, length of time with your previous insurance carrier. So you get a better discount if you have been with the same company longer. So that's number 3. Mistake number 4. This mistake has to do with the coverages you carry, specifically the bodily injury coverages on your auto policy. If you keep the state minimum coverages, you are hurting yourself in a couple different ways. One, the state minimum doesn't provide you probably enough coverage if you are in a major accident. 2, when you go to get a quote in the future from another insurance company, carrying state minimums doesn't necessarily help you out as far as a discount. If you have a little bit higher coverages, you do get a better discount with a new company you're trying to get a quote through for having a little bit better coverage. That's not true for every carrier, but there are a lot of carriers where that plays a major factor in the rate you get. So check those bodily injury coverages, and if you've got the state minimum, you might want to think about bumping that up at least to the next level. Mistake number 5, this has to do with setting your payment up. It needs to be set up on EFT, or electronic payment, out of your checking account or credit card. Preferably checking account, because what happens a lot of times with credit cards, guess what? They expire, you forget to update that expiration date, payment doesn't go through, you get cancellation. So bank accounts are better for setting up your automatic payment for your insurance policies. Here's the biggest concept that a lot of people don't understand is you do have this grace period during your term where you have typically up to 20 days after the due date to make that payment. without it canceling with a lapse. But most, especially auto insurance policies, go either on a 6-month or 12-month policy period, and then they renew. Where this gets messy is if you are constantly always running behind on that payment, then when it comes time for renewal, there's a different set of rules at renewal. And so you don't have that 20-day grace period at that first payment on that renewal. It's usually anywhere from probably 1 to 5 days. That's about it. 5 is pushing it. Most companies are just a couple days. But if you don't make that payment at the renewal term, for the renewal period, within those first few days, your policy could lapse. And then again, what we learn again from mistake number 1, lapsed policy, higher bracket, cost more. So make sure you set those payments up for your insurance on EFT or auto pay. If you can't do bank account, please do card, but please remember, if you do a card, keep up with your expiration dates, because if that date expires and the payment didn't go through, your policy might lapse too for non-payment. So those are 5 big mistakes that you can make to cause your auto insurance to be more costly than what it should be. So hope that helps you out. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our agency. We're more than happy to help you out. Thanks.